Hey, viewers and viewers, my name is General Red Strategist and welcome back to Stay Being Hunted. It's episode 550, ladies and gents. Gosh, we are really getting on the rush here towards episode 600, aren't we? Do you reckon, we'll get to episode 600 before Stay Being Hunted Reinvented Edition comes out? Who knows? But we'll see. So we're on another island, the North Island this time. We're going to get some more device pieces on this one. You might notice I've got actually a sort of instead of matches now, I picked them up off the centre island whilst I was coming here. Just found them in an inventory space near the standing stones. Just thought I'd take them, because they might be useful and all that. So, I would hope, as usual, you guys are doing alright. I'm actually recording this episode straight after the last one, because I've got some topics in mind that I just want to sort of yammer on about. And I thought, why not, I always enjoy having a good chin wagon and natter and all that as I'm playing this game. So, in other news, last episode, of course, I was just sort of yammering about YouTube viewing and all that, and then started talking about how I needed to get back to playing more Sherlock Holmes' Secret of the Silver Earring. But, that last topic actually got me thinking about games, more generally speaking. You know me, I've talked about games that I have on Steam and things like that before. So I'm going to talk about that again, because why not? Because there's a few interesting things I have in mind and all that. Actually, before I started my recording session this evening, I just bought a game on offer that was on offer on Steam, a game called Hover, which is basically, I think, like a sort of parkour third-person platformer type game, which was going on offer. I'm not kidding, it was about, something around, it must have been about $2.99. It was really cheap, real on offer, massively discounted, and so I thought, I looked at the screenshots of it on the Steam store page and thought, this actually looks really colourful and really interesting. And it has decent reviews by the looks of it, so sure, why not? Basically, if you don't know what Hover is, how should I describe it? It's kind of, if you've ever seen games like Jet Set Radio, stuff like that, Hover looks a lot like those. I think it is clearly inspired by games like Jet Set Radio and Jet Set Radio Future and those sorts of games. So it looks very interesting. It's like very colourful characters, stylised sort of characters, colourful sort of, I guess you could say sort of cyberpunk kind of world, something setting like that, And God, yeah, it looks so good. And the thing is, you might know because I think I have mentioned it before, but I am, of course, a fan of platformer games. When I was a kid, back in my youth, sort of like early 2000s, I always used to love 3D platformer games like the old classic Rayman 2, Rayman 3. And I also like sort of 3D action-adventure games like, Beyond Good and Evil, for instance, as well. So naturally, colourful sort of 3D platformer action-adventure sort of games, they do have an appeal for me. And of course, as an adult, being able to now buy my own games, I've played my share of platformers, including, things like the Spyro Reignited games, which I did thoroughly enjoy overall. So it was nice to play those, a little bit of a blast from the past and all that. So they were fun, they were great. And of course I have other platforms in my Steam library that I would love to play at some point. For example, Papo and Yo, which is like a really obscure one. Submerged Hidden Depths, the sequel to that Submerged game I played a year or two ago. Can't remember when it was exactly. That's another game that I need to play at some point. Skylar and Pluck's Adventure on Clover Island. That's a game which I have in my Steam library, but you can't actually get on the Steam store anymore, because for some reason it got pulled. Apparently it's only short, I think. But it's kind of a 3D platformer, very much in the sort of same vein, I think, as games like Ratchet and Clank and stuff like that. I also remember playing Scrap Garden as well on the channel, which Scrap Garden was a pretty bog-standard sort of 3D platformer, but I suppose it had a bit of a charm to it, even if it was, clearly a bit of a sort of, not amateur production, but it definitely felt like, someone's kind of first attempt at creating a platformer kind of style game, just judging by, the basics of some of like the graphics and the way the environments were built, things like that. So yeah, Hover. Definitely want to play that, because, like I say, looking at it, it gives me sort of real sort of Jet Set Radio kind of vibes to it. Speaking of Jet Set Radio, actually, here's a fun little anecdote. I remember watching a playthrough of, I think, Jet Set Radio Future, I think it was, back on what's his face, In the Littlewoods channel, years and years ago. This must have been like 2011, 12, somewhere around there. Because it's from, you know, it's a playthrough that he did well over 10 years ago now. But I can remember watching it back in the day, and God, how old would I have been then? I'd have been in my very early 20s, so I'd have still been an undergraduate student at university, probably studying in my final year and all that. And the reason I remember it so well, not only is for the game itself, because the game is colourful, you know, but also remember because I remember back in the day when, you know, in the Littlewood, used to do a lot of like playthroughs of like Minecraft, Minecraft mods, Jet Set Radio, stuff like that. He often used to showcase fan art on his videos. You know, if there were like particular pieces that he found humorous or that he really liked, that people had made or things that people had sent to him, he would sort of try and remember to actually include them in his videos, and he would like put them sort of front and centre on the screen. And I remember when I was like 21 or something, I thought for a laugh, when I was watching his Jet Set Radio Future, I thought I'd do like a humorous bit of fan art based on something he did in one of the episodes. Basically, I can actually remember what it was. In one of the episodes of his playthrough of Jet Set Radio Future, or whatever it is, there's a character in that game called Gum, who's like a girl, like a skater girl, who I think, if I remember correctly, she sort of like has kind of like a blue dress aesthetic. So she wears like a mini dress, and she has like a sort of, I think it's like a old school like pilot's hat on as well. And of course, you know, it's all blue and all that. But thing is, because this is not an anime game, but almost that same aesthetic, there is like one thing that the character does, where if I think you succeed at a mission or whatever, because the thing about Jet Set Radio is it's all about like music and sort of musical subcultures, things like that. And so when you're playing as one of the player characters and you fulfill an objective or whatever, there's usually like a little moment where your character does like a little sort of triumphant dance move, something like that. And so with the camera angles in some of these moves, let's just say sometimes with the female characters, it's a bit voyeuristic, to put it that way. And in Jet Set Radio Future, one of the sort of camera angles on Gum's little sort of victory dance move kind of gives you a bit of an upskirt, which, you know what, yeah, that's why I call it voyeuristic, essentially. But I remember that in the Littlewood sort of made a joke about that. And basically I did a bit of fan art which was sort of basically referring to that joke. And yeah, he actually showcased that fan art in one of the videos. Basically, I can still picture this fan art in my head to this day, because it was like, oh, Senpai noticed me. But basically, the fan art has like a sort of like a cartoony representation of In the Littlewood's kind of like old avatar, and then in big lettering it says something like "Blue knickers. Now we know what Martin's into," something like that. Yeah, basically, go look for In the Littlewood's really old Jet Set Radio or Jet Set Radio Future playthrough or whatever it was. Not Jet Set Radio Grind. I'm pretty sure it wasn't that one. And just, I don't know, you may have to watch the whole playthrough because I cannot remember which number episode it was. But, yeah, yeah, you'll probably find it. It's right there. I wonder if I have it still saved somewhere in one of my directories. I doubt I do. Because if I had it saved anyway, it'd probably actually be on my old computer that I had before my current build. Because, yeah, in fact, it might not even be on that. It might have been on one before that. I'm trying desperately to remember all the computers I've owned throughout my life. I'm producing a bit of a blank. So, yeah, that was just a fun little anecdote about that. Yeah, maybe I'll go and try and have a look and see if I can find which episode it was. And maybe, I don't know, give everyone sort of a clue. Maybe write down in the comments if I can find which episode it was, which number it is to go look for. So, yeah, fun fact. But sorry, that was a massive digression actually from the main topic of conversation. So yeah, Hover. Don't know if it's a game necessarily that I will play on the channel. Maybe it is. I don't know. But I say that because obviously I have so many games I want to get through on the channel that I just, you know, I'm not realistically going to be able to play all of them here on the channel. So some of them I might just have to bite the bullet and play in my own time. But Hover, I don't know. Maybe it's a game that, I don't know, maybe people will be interested in it. I'm not sure. who knows? If you're interested in that, let me know. But another game that I actually do have on my Steam wishlist, which has a very similar kind of art style to Hover, is actually another game that I believe In the Little Wood has played recently on his Twitch channel, probably. Hi-Fi Rush. I remember when I first started seeing clips of it, at first I thought it was like a Persona game or something, but no, it's something else. It is its own franchise. It's basically a platformer rhythm game, but I was looking at the reviews for it, and apparently it is really smooth and enjoyable. It's like combat sequences where you can like time your moves to like the beat of a musical track, and apparently if you get into the flow of it, it's so fun, apparently. So yeah, that's a game that I put on my Steam wishlist because it just looks really, really interesting. So I'm going to wait and see if it goes on offer at any point, and then maybe buy it. So that's another one which, again, like colour-wise, it does remind me a little bit of like old Jet Set Radio games, stuff like that. Incidentally, if in case anyone's wondering, I've never played any Jet Set Radio games myself. I've just watched, like I say, In the Little's playthrough of some of the older ones. But yeah, Jet Set Radio, if that's available on Steam, I'm assuming it's available on PC and potentially available on Steam. That's something else I'd maybe be interested in playing at some point, who knows. Again, not necessarily on the channel, but it could be something that I would buy and just play in my own time, potentially. Right, I'm going to find freaking device pieces here, because I'm not actually seeking them out. Someone else is having a shootout, I don't know where they are, though. I should be following the way. Ah! Speaking of another device piece, there's one over here. Oh, sounds like some hunters just murdered a poacher. Oh, someone else is having a shootout now. Well, that's good, if it just keeps them all distracted. Turn my torch off. Ooh, we timed that to perfection now, didn't we, ladies and gentlemen? Let's get this one. Where is it? There it is. Smalley. Oh, God. Shit. I forgot my fucking torch switched on. I'm an idiot. Okay, hold on. Just need to work out... Oh, God. Nope. Nope. Right, come on. One more device piece on this island. Where are we? Don't know. I don't know. There's got to be wisps around here somewhere, isn't there? If we can just seek out where they're coming from, we'll find where we need to be. Oh, wait a minute. Are they hiding something in there? No, they're not. That might just be a regular patrol by the looks of it. Yeah, there's the freaking landowner right there. Okay, that's not... Oh, wisp over there. Hold on, where are you going? Are you coming towards me? No, you're going away from me, aren't you? Aren't you, Mr. Wisp? You're a mean one, Mr. Wisp. Sorry. That's, what's that song? The Grinch and all that? Yeah. Good lord. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. Oh, dearie me. Yeah, what else was I going to say? Games. So yeah, Hi-Fi Rush on my Steam library. Sorry, my Steam wishlist even, not in my Steam library. If it was in my Steam library, that would mean I bought it, which I haven't done, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, these friggin' a-holes are all moving around in awkward locations. Oh my god, there's a lot of them out here, isn't there? Where did that friggin' wisp go? I've lost track of it. I've lost bloody track of it, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be around there somewhere. Unless there's another wisp showing up anywhere. No, there isn't. Oh, wait. Yes, there is. One over there. Go. Home in. Like a little bloodhound. Okay. I'm trying to think, though, any other sort of interesting games that have taken my eye recently. On Steam, anywhere like that. I mean, I have so many games. Including some short ones. I really want to try and blitz through some of the shorter games in my Steam library at some point. Just so that way, I can get things done and whatever else I have yet. Right, you're going in this sort of direction over here. Are you? Where are you going? This way? At least you're going away from the landowner. Well, they've got to be around here somewhere, haven't they? There's the next device piece. Wait, where did fucking El Wispo get? There he is. Okay. Oh god, fucking... Don't want the fucking balloon over here either, do we? Whoop whoop. There's a human down here. Come and shoot the human. Right. Does anybody see any fucking device piece smoke columns around here? I don't see any at all. It must still be a way off. Show me the way, Mr. Wisp. God, sorry, I'm getting completely distracted from what I was talking about, ladies and gents. Oh my god, yeah. Other games actually, come to think of it, that are on my Steam wishlist. Games like Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. That's a game I probably wouldn't play on the channel. That's probably something I would do in my own time. But yeah, that's like a looter shooter or something, isn't it? But that sort of attracted me because of the graphical aesthetic of it, because it looks very colourful and quite imaginative and all that. Right, I'm just going to quickly drink my alcohol down the hatch real quick, so I've got spare bottles to distract these a-holes. Right, hold on. Yeah, being drunk is really not what you need to be when you're trying to do this, but that's fine by me. Please get sober. Nope, don't move. Okay, you saw me apparently. Balls to you. Oh, back up. Oh, can they sort of get to me? I don't think they can get to me properly. You're in a bit of trouble there, Rabbit. El Rabbito. Oh, actually, yeah, there's another game, actually, come to think of it, that I've actually been looking at on Steam recently. I don't know if I'd buy it, but something about the aesthetic of it does sort of catch my attention. Atelier Ryza, which is a JRPG, ladies and gents. Again, not necessarily a game I would play on the channel and all that, just because it looks like something that would be a very long game, and therefore not one necessarily that... Oh my god, you asshole. Get over there. I don't have any more bottles for you, so don't even try it. Ugh. Oh, what the hell? It's spawned inside the fucking rocks. I can't even get at it. The heck? Oh god, what are you doing? No. Oh, Jesus, you kidding me? Well, we've got a bit of a generation problem here, haven't we? There's a problem. Alright, they're going to see me. They're going to fucking know I'm here anyway. Right, go around here. Wow, we actually have a device piece that we physically cannot get to. That's an issue. That means that effectively I cannot complete this map, doesn't it? Because look at this shit. I think this is the first time this ever happened. Okay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that means a map that you technically cannot win. Alright, well, I'm not done talking about what I was just talking about a moment ago, so I'm just going to keep going for a few more minutes. Yeah, so I was talking about Atelier Ryza. It has like a subtitle as well, Ever Darkness or something or other. I can't remember what it was because it was actually quite a long one. But yeah, it's like an anime style sort of, JRPG. And, JRPGs, like I say, they're not necessarily something that I would play on my channel because, A, they're quite long, and it's also like one of those kind of turn-based sort of games. And I'll be honest, like turn-based games, not that I wouldn't play them, but they're not games that I typically play. I tend to prefer sort of more real-time kind of stuff. For example, like with strategy games, I tend to prefer RTSs rather than turn-based strategy. But yeah, Atelier Ryza is a game that there's a part of me that would be tempted to get it and potentially give it a whirl. Not least because the characters look very interesting, and on top of that, the art is very colourful and very bright and just looks very nice and attractive. So maybe, I don't know, maybe that's something I'd consider buying. I'm not sure. Perhaps. But the problem is it's like very expensive on Steam. It's like £40-something, which is a lot of money to part with for a single game. And if it is £40, that probably means it's expensive for a reason, probably because it's a huge game. There's probably a lot to it. And yeah, like I say, sometimes, whilst I am prepared to do longer length games, sometimes on my channel, I tend to prefer to stick to shorter ones, just so that way I can get through more of them quicker. Because, there's a lot of games I want to showcase on the channel, and I don't want to be sort of spending months and months on end going through longer length ones. There are, of course, like I say, longer length games that I would make exceptions for, like obviously Death Stranding. I did a whole playthrough of that one, and the Danganronpa games, but they were fun. They were really quite attention grabbing. They really kind of captivated me and got my interest, hence why I, decided to do full playthroughs of them. But yeah, so Atelier Ryza, maybe, that's a maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'll put it on my wish list, and if ever it goes on offer, maybe I'll buy it. But yeah, I just wanted to make mention of that one as well in this episode, since I was talking about games that have kind of taken my eye and things like that. But yeah, I feel my nose starting getting very stuffy, so I need to wrap up here so I can go and blow my nose. Based on links, ladies and gentlemen, along with a link to my propagandist channel, can be found down below if you're interested in those. Other than that, I hope you'll join me for episode 551, where I might go to a new map, since technically this one cannot be completed, since one of the device pieces has spawned in an incredibly awkward location underneath a load of rocks. So, yeah, I don't know what I'll do next episode. Maybe I'll start a different challenge, maybe I'll just start a new playthrough on a new map, I don't know, we'll see. Or maybe I'll just do a generic podcast episode. See, it depends how I feel. Goodbye, everybody! But yeah, I just remember like the demo had sort of two particular levels to it. There's like a level set on a tropical island. There's a level set in sort of like an ancient mine or something, from what I remember. It's been a long, long time. It's been years, ladies and gentlemen. So yes, there will be things that I absolutely forgot. Yes, show me the trick. You know, I think I've talked about a similar subject over on my Series Being Hunted series before. Platforming franchises that never survived, kind of the 90s. Because the thing is, oh god, looks like there's a flight area in this part. Yeah, I did a Series Being Hunted episode quite some time ago where I'd watched an Outside Extra video, which was literally about that subject, on platforming franchises that people maybe don't really remember.